Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another lovely day for rugby today at the Bull Jardine Stadium, where Raiders is going to be hosting Alberton and another installment of a Castle Lager Paris Grand Challenge Club Championship brought to you by SCI in cooperation and obvious association with the Lions Rugby Union. And certainly what a view here. We're having a beautiful clear skies, certainly a day for kickers, and where the players are going to be showcasing what they actually are made about. And at this very important point, if we can quickly run through the team list as well, starting with Alberton. It's going to be very interesting contest there when we've got the likes of the front rowers, Jana Kombranka, Brandon Schultz, and Lindo Gutle, Dladla, they call him Lindo, or Kilo, who's going to be anchoring the front row. The engine room is Giovanni Bota and JJ Creer. And then the loose forwards is going to be Jad Stein on the open side and Sean Potgieter on the blind side. And then Sean Bota is going to be anchoring number 8. When we go to the backline players, Nati Ngube is going to be pairing there with Van Skalkwyk, Keegan Van Skalkwyk, and the center pairing was going to promising to be some electrical conduction happening there between the two brothers, Danny Westenberg and Johan Westenberg, who's going to be 12 and 13 respectively. And then obviously wings on strings is going to be controlled by Jason Bott at fullback. Left winger is going to be Brian Onsolen, and Tyler Paulson, whose father is a forwards coach of Alberton Rugby Union. And quickly run into the other team, and then comes to the host, who's going to be very important today. In the front row is going to be Nkosi Vumile and Mhlaba, who's going to be the left loose set, and Nkosi Yende and Luyondo Klinela is going to be the front rows. And the engine room, Valem Nel and Ashley Sibisi, a nicer Bakis Bot and Victor Melfield combination lookalikes there. Brendan Odongo, and on the open side, Mfundo Mchilita is going to be on the right side. Senzo Tlatwayo is going to be the number 8. In the back line is going to be Ishmael Adams, John Kubega, General John Kubega is going to be center pairing, and center is going to be Kolela Daniels, Loveridge Mudere, who's going to be the center pairing there, and the wings on strings, Eden Carroll is going to be controlled, Jason Penzu, and Shedrack Simanga on the right side. It's going to be very interesting contest. The reserves I'm going to bring in as soon as we get an opportunity to do so, just to run through the reserves as well of the visiting team is Lisejo Mailangwe is going to be 16, Brandon Schaefer, Alex Venter, Robert Torres, Christian Leroux, Benny Botes Corporal, Mark Fervey, and JJ Van Sale. And we're going to the reserves of the local team. The host here is Renata Ulse, Dylan Malchas, who's going to be very instrumental. Mr. Raiders today, who's going to be actually very important coming on Tepo, Kyla Mudimu, and Kumani Jiva, Brian Italer, Azi Africa, James Bester, and Sibusiso Ndlovu are going to be the reserves as we're about to kick off here. It's going to be a tight tussle. These two teams have got no love lost between them, and very importantly, the guy who's going to be starting the game for us today is a general from Alberton, number 10, Keegan Van Skalkwyk, a man who's actually new in the scene at Alberton. It's only been a couple of years, but it's been spoken. Big things are happening for these young men from Coach Bota. Their kicks off starts. Van Skalkwyk kicks off very deep, and the recipient is a big number 8, and it gives back to Kubega. Kubega doesn't waste time, drops it back with interest, just short of the 10-meter line, but the ref might just give it there, just between the 10-meter line and the 22. That's where the Alberton lineup is going to take place. It's going to be very interesting how they actually get to start now. Do they go short? Do they go long? By the look of things, I think they're going to go like 5, 6, like a 6-man line out here, probably with a scrum half outside. And then plan there could be a drive, could be a short line out as well. Let's see how the man is going to start here today. Is Brendan Schultz, is going to be under pressure. You know how combination Ashley Sibisi and Willem Nebe were actually instrumental in the previous game they played. This is round 5, but Raiders only playing their 4th game and Alberton playing their 5th. And let's see how the first line is going to go. And nicely taken there by the big man, JJ Creer. Quick ball is out, unfortunately deemed to be slightly skewed there by Mr. Ardas Kutsia. Not very happy with the controlling of that bowler. Brendan Schultz slightly skewing his throw there, just putting his team client under pressure. I would like to say probably hard done by there as well, because I felt that was like marginal, to be honest. But first contest is going to take place. We did the front rowers. I'm sure there's the best time Untlaba and Yende and Quinella gonna really have to lay the foundation here. And the engine room is nice and warm, just to make sure they get it run. And it's going to be a nice contest there, because I'm sure Alberton will bring the heat as well. And the scrum is takes off. Good contest, good right shoulder there. Unfortunately, I think someone must have infringed on the last, right in front of Mr. Harris could see there on the Raiders side. I think the Lucid might be scrumming slightly in Mr. Klaba and is being penalized for screwing in a little bit. And Alberton is happy to go for touch or to go for line. I think they're going for poles. No, they're going for touch. The fullback, the man who actually loves the ball in hand, probably one of the few times you'll see him run today or kick, is probably kicking for penalties, kicking for free kicks. Jason Porter is a man who loves the ball in his hand. We'll see what he can do today. And it's going to be a very interesting contest if they're going to give him some support this time at the wingers. Bran Onselen and Paulson, who's going to be very instrumental when those balls are being kicked down. Also, General Kubeka is a man who's very keen in the ball, kicking the ball, and it's actually very allocated. Put a nice take there from the Alberton. Is blindside Sean Put hitter, and the drive has been set slightly high is Alberton, but they're still going forward. The muscle have got it. They're playing under advantage as well. Probably a great time here for this ball to go out as well. Nguba needs to release, and Skalvik is released. Cross kick to the left winger. Mare slightly overcooked there for Skalvik, which is unfortunate. The idea was good. Just a tactical execution let him down there. The idea was absolutely brilliant. I don't know if the call came from the Brian van Onselen himself, but certainly not well executed. But we're playing under advantage. And I think they feel like we've got something happening here as Jason Porter gets ready for another pop. Just a slight pop there to the line, and the line out needs to be set. At this time, Alberton, if anything needs to be corrected, is to make sure that drive is nice and low. They've got the manpower to go up in the air. Put did that excellently. I wouldn't see any different. There's like this boot, and number 8 comes and rep, and then Sean Porter reps it nicely and set it nice and tight. And there's something happening here. The ball needs to capitalize. Go over the line. I think they're slightly short, and I think there's a penalty again. Secondary penalty. I think Alberton continues like that. Keep the pan in mind. They need to be patient. Well, another penalty in the same scenario could be a penalty try automatically, according to the law book. Harness could say it's probably, the captain needs to just remind him as well. Now listen, it's the 3rd one, and they keep on infringing. They're on the 2nd notice now. Is Raiders slightly under pressure here with this line out? They need to actually want to contest a danger. If you contest, it's very important that you actually contest. You must come down quick enough. Potgieter takes another clean one again, and they set it up nice and low. The big man and the machine starts rolling, and that ball is under the man in the middle, Brendan Schultz, and he's holding on nice and tight as they're going to go over. They've been controlled. I think it's fallen apart. The ball might have been slightly knocked on, but I'm no indication from the ref is actually a knock on. The ball is out. Van Skalvik gets it, gives it to the, miscommunication there. Anders over's gone wrong there from the Westenberg brothers, and the turnover is good. The fullback couldn't control the ball, Jason Porter, and attempted for Kubeka to kick out. It doesn't kick out and gives back to Jason Porter, and Jason Porter is not going to kick. 1-2. Is he going to be handled? Is well met by the right winger, Shadrach Chimanga, and certainly connected and stole the ball, and subsequently the ball is actually turned over now. Back now is the left winger who comes in chicken wing. Brings him back. The man who made a tackle got out of throw, and the line is broken. The fullback is like basically and the numbers need to be there. The clean is good. Quick ball, Kubeka takes over, gives it back to Daniels. Daniels gives a nice offload. Unfortunately, not to hand, but the ball is still a hand. I think there's a lot of mistake there. Too many guys, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians in that section. There are 3 guys in a space of 5-meter line, but no one was actually nominating, or the quality of the pass was not that great, which is unfortunate there. And certainly making sure that Alberton gets in an out of jail situation. They were seriously under trouble under serious trouble, as in Bremen. Brandon Schulz gets ready again to anchor the situation. They had an opportunity close to the line. They didn't take advantage of it. But now the great opportunity to scrum right just outside the 5-meter line, on the 22-meter line. And they've got only one option here, and it's basically getting a straight shoulder. Channel 1 needs to happen because the pressure is going to come. And the pressure stabilized. Well controlled there by Vaskalvik, and then does a show and go. But oh my goodness! Carlsen took his eyes off the ball. The ball needs to be kept alive. The ball is on, and Vaskalvik is alone. A chicken wing look-alike. But that ball doesn't go to hand, and then Raiders gets to control the situation and bring it back to the outside. Big number 8, and number 8 just let it go. So actually Brendan Odungu who actually let it go. They've got a ball in hand again. Needs to get it ready. Force getting ready to set up. I think the ref said too many bodies piling up there. Unfortunately, good turnaround there. Great opportunity from Alberton. Not really exploited to his full capacity. They could have done something special with that ball. Vaskalvik attempted chicken wing. I don't know what it was, because that looked like a back out of the door pass that didn't go to hand. An opportunity gone begging. Ball gone loose, and then that's a dangerous stage is there. We don't want to give Raiders any ball that's actually gone loose at the moment. Another scrum opportunity. It seems like we're going to have a lot of scrums today. I'm not complaining. Certainly that's where all the muscle has been sorted out. All the technical atrocities have been taking place, where the players are really sorting themselves out. Meet and greet at his best of his opportunity that will get is in the front rows, where they're actually putting himself under pressure. Good pressure then from Alberton. Raiders is not getting the shoulder. I think the ball might be turned over by Alberton. Oh, that ball should have come very quickly. I think the likes of Kombrang and Lindo Gutla really putting good pressure on Raiders here. Jean Kombrang should have really feel grieved there by his locks, who probably were looking elsewhere. The ball was right underneath their feet. Should have just channeled that ball to number 8 so they can keep it going. That was a beautiful turnover scrum there. I think Raiders here might be feeling the heat at the moment. They've been backpedaling so far. The scrum has been a very good contest, but you don't want to get those negative shoulders on your own ball. I think Yolo Qinela needs to make sure that he actually leads and actually anchors himself properly. He's got the Willem Nebe and SBC there in the engine room, but that hit is not convincing as well. I think that ball is also turned over. Mr. Ref. I think Alberton might be slightly robbed that one there. I didn't see anything wrong with that scrum. I think just the hit maybe might be premature. Maybe if he's penalizing for that, I'll agree with him. But anything else than that, I don't think there was nothing wrong there. I think Alberton needs to control that hit. Over eagerness could be the death of them as well. They need to be careful. They've got all that power. And you have that power, you got all that advantage. You gotta make sure that you actually make teams pay. Now you get that power and you release the pressure valves, and then obviously Raiders have got a very, very well astute fly-off who knows how to play the game, know to fasten it, know how to make it slow. At this point in time, they're planning, they're scheming. It's gonna be a 5-man option, a bit of razzle dazzle. Let's see now who gets the ball this time. The go-to man, unfortunately, that ball has not gone to hand. Well stolen from Alberton. Getting a lot of possession there, and actually line up gone wrong for Raiders, and that ball is going for Vaskalvik. Let's go. Brings it back with the forwards and brings it back to the big man. Big number 8, Sean Water. Crash ball there, and certainly they bring Vaskalvik inside pies there. Bringing in back his lock and chicken wing. Chicken wing there from the big man, number 8. Sean Water. Bresi getting in stuck there. Lindo Gutle getting ready to put another crash ball. Boom! A little bit too high here. That's where 2 elephant meets 1 Masan, and the ground suffers. And at this point in time, Alberton still keeps the ball. Vaskalvik decided, listen, a chip and chase. It does a cross kick, but the fullback is going to let this one bounce. It doesn't let this one bounce. Too much time. A waste of possession there from Vaskalvik, and giving the fullback Carlsen enough ample time to take his time, rattle it, and even think about it, what he's going to put on it. And now he's even got time to send that thing packing. A beautiful exit, and what an opportunity for Carlsen. Saving his team there. I think captain here needs to actually have a word, because you cannot have so much possession and then the backline players just take it and give it back. I mean, these 2 centers I'm raving about here, the 2 brothers, Westenberg needs to speak to their fly to actually release that ball as much as he can to make sure that they get some momentum there going, because they're hungry for some action. Oh, not a good contest in the end. Unfortunately, Potgieter not able to control it. When there comes a big man, Mchilita takes it up. Cleaners are required. And the little scrum half comes in. Adams takes it away and brings in the another chicken wing force pass there, but the Karelsa gets in and recorrect. Unfortunately, his left winger still slipping. Jason Panzu, not expecting anything in rugby ball. You need to make a way if you're going to support someone. You need to make sure that you're actually there to actually catch a ball as quickly as you can. But one area, I think Alberton will really be proud of himself at the moment. How things are standing. I mean, the scoreboard is still clean. And I'm sure they would like to make sure it stays like that on their side. Their forwards have really come to the party, have come to dance, and certainly winning the contest slightly here. But we know how Raiders is dangerous with the ball in hand. But coming to the department where Alberton is probably smalling the most, almost Ngube is getting ready to feed. The scrum is stabilized. It's just the backs need to come to the party here. The likes of Danny Westenberg and Joan Westenberg need to release those outside backs. I think they're getting cold at the moment. Haven't had any action besides chasing up and down. Not a crouch. Behind, set, stable scrum. Nice and anchored, and now Ngobe's got a nice ball to work with. Van Schalk dummy switch with his outside, brings back the right winger. The right winger brings back to Botha. Botha releases left winger. Yeah, this needs to happen. On Anselin, certainly just held up, needs to keep it in field. And certainly protecting the ball. The right man, Paulson plays scrum off. Van Schalk gives it back to the number open side flanker. Just staying there. Just staying. Went in there with some serious fall force. You just need to calm the edge and cool heads here. You've got the ball, you need to keep the heads, and you don't want that. And certainly it's going to be a long day at the office if you start it like this. That pot needs to be simmering nicely. He needs to give that tension. And Kubeka just calming his men down and said, listen, this is how to play, Fulham. You need to keep your calm. I mean, we're giving a penalty away. You don't want to force the ref to actually get more meters because that's unnecessary. Obviously, the hit must have started there from Jared Stein, who's really been instrumental in taking up the ball as much as he can. But obviously the one time they decide to release those backs, a beautiful backline move. Almost got away with that one. The right two wingers actually working in tandem there. And Tala Paulson coming in there to add his weight on that open play on the left. And Brian Onsland really playing a role as well. And the fullback has got a chance here of just adding a three-pointer, courtesy of ill discipline from Raiders. Let's see what he can do with it. While Mr. Bottas getting ready for this kick. Beautiful struck. Crossbar as agreed, and obviously ARS are very happy there. 3 pointers there for Alberton, courtesy from Jason Van Potter. Certainly this boot is going to come very handy today. Very important thing, a lot of coaches will re-emphasize. Once you get points, you need to make sure you control the receipt, the kick receipt, and get out of jail again. I think CBC is slightly in front of that ball. I think Mr. Kubega is put a foot wrong as well. So clearly pressure's got a mix. He's got his way of playing tricks on players. I mean, that's probably one of the level-headed players who just made an elementary error there, not kicking a 10-meter line. But Alberton is happy to go start in the middle. I mean, scrum has been going very well for them, and why not? I think that confidence needs to relate to the backs as well, like giving them edge. Say, listen guys, we're in control of this. We need to make sure we play on the right side of the field. I mean, they're good strike. They've got a split, nice split here, a 2-2 split with 2 in the middle. Just giving Raiders guessing at the moment here, and Raiders is just forced down. Only Kubega is anchoring right behind the scrum, and they leveled up on 2-2. Let's see what kind of move is Alberton going to come up with here. But first thing first, you can have that move. But that scrum needs to happen. Good pressure. Slight left shoulder here, but they're going to the right. Oh, Mr. Ngube does a grabber under pressure, and that one goes pear-shape. And Mr. Daniel says, no, thank you, I'll take that. And Raiders are helping more than happy to oblige. The ball is cleaner. CBC getting ready to take it up, and it does. A slightly bit high. They missed, Lindo Gutle missed the tackle, and it goes over, gets meters here, and then it brings in the big man. And certainly bring it back to the big man again. Big force needs some cleaners. Unfortunately, lost the ball, but the tackler didn't release. Was a big take there from the big fat CBC. Who actually took some few men, but unfortunately got smashed and grabbed there. The tackler didn't go for him, went for the ball instead. And Mr. Kubega just going to say, listen guys, let's take our time. Let's go to the side. 5-minute line out. that's going to take place in Alberton is half. And what a great opportunity for Raiders. I think probably one of the rare moments. We've been busy for a few minutes, just over 15 minutes. And the first time they get into the half of Alberton, and then certainly they want to make sure they make it counted. They're going full line out. It's more like a 6 men, 6+1. What number? Mr. Chilita standing outside. Is certainly a driver's going to come here. A good contest, good steal there from Mr. Potgieter from Alberton. And certainly saving his team there for Skalvik, making sure it's the interest on top of that kick. Beautiful steal there from Alberton. Oh, what a contest, what a take. I think Raiders has got their work cut out for them. I think Alberton has got their number when it comes to the first phase today. But remember, that counts for nothing if you're not making a pound, making it pay at the scoreboard. That scoreboard needs to keep on clicking. Confidence is riding high here, and now they decide to go short. Mr. Spacey running the short here, making sure now they're making it easy. Need to simplify a situation. Mr. Potgieter is having nothing in front here. I think that ball is going to be stolen again. Unfortunately, this time they get it, but not a very good ball. Scrappy ball from CBC. Just the timing was terrible. Mr. Kubeka does a in and out and sends away. Oh, what a take. Unfortunately, not controlled from Daniels. Those passes. I've been letting them down seriously here. Good opportunity, line break. A slight line break that took place, and certainly would have been lovely to see how they can get away. They've got a dangerous situation here. You've got contrasting styles. Forward pack who's dominating, not really dominating, but an upper hand. And they've got a backline on this side who's actually just want to unleash, talking about unleashing a team from the back. And this is exactly what Raiders seems to want to operate from here. Some bit of technicality, and I think someone has actually been attended to the big man from Alberton. JJ Gray needed some magic ice to cool down some combustion engines there. Things have been steaming, things have been hot, but they're looking good here. I think the two centers from Danielson and Muderere. I think Daniels is actually clutching at something. I think his ankle, or maybe I think that tackle that he got involved in there, that ball that couldn't get away. But I think if anything to go by, Raiders are probably calculating and see how things are going to go. Maybe just need to wait a little bit until Alberton gets tired. Maybe those gaps will be glaring in their numbers. That's just to make sure that that's the case. But Alberton is actually soaring in confidence at the moment. Everything is going well. I think they need to keep on pushing, because I think they need to just not keep on pushing the effort levels. Need to make sure that the scoreboard also keeps on clicking. If you quickly, while we're having that little break, when the Mr. Magic has been attended to, Mr. Kolela, Daniels there, who's actually been attended to by Medic. Alberton is playing their 5th game at the moment in round 5, having lost to Verts 48-10, beat Wanderers 10-0, lost to Roodepoort a massive 63-0, and to Pirates about 55-0. Certainly today, lucky number 5 is one thing they want to make sure, is to make sure that they get this one over Raiders, and Raiders will not allow them. Raiders only playing their 4th game in this encounter, and certainly also haven't had a very easy ride except one game. Pirates put him away 34-28, which was pretty close, and then come Wanderers. Wanderers actually was smashed about 70 here at home by Roodepoort, which gave it to them, and Roodepoort beat them 39-28. Raiders. So Raiders are also keen to get a win here. They've been playing a win-lose, win-lose-lose-win, and a good pressure scrum there for Skalvik. Just a change direction. He needs to release the ball in one hand. It does a pass for Bota. Bota chops in. They need cleaners, and Ngoba's there to clean up and duty, and has been pushed by the right winger there, Tyler Paulson, who plays ground. The left winger plays ground of Van Onselen and brings them, but that's a bit of a slow movement there from the big number 8. Certainly setting himself to be smashed in that contact area, but one guy doesn't want to get smashed. Is clear, but I think he lost the ball in contact there, and Raiders needs to make sure, and they need to keep their calm. They're not controlling their ruck. They want to keep the ball as loose as quickly as Kubeka gives it to his right left winger, and just zone Penzu set it up and his cleaners again, and bring it back as a fullback. Carlsen gives it to the big number 8, who's slightly upright in his position as well. Ohlatwayo, let's get Matt, and actually Kubeka, it's a blind spot. Oh! Dummy switch, and Penzu is one-on-one here. Unfortunately, he's actually got 2 players over him. I think Alberton might actually stand this one over, and certainly they do for Skalvik. Absolutely doing some open side work A flanker work there, stealing that ball and clean over that cross defense and chasing. And then Penzu was isolated. I think Kubega was actually out of play there as well. I think he needed to chip and chase, having a bit of a chit chat afterwards. The guy were exploiting a blind, but we were outnumbered. Alberton had more than the Eland. They actually are oozing with confidence at the moment. But at this point, I think they need to actually preserve some energy. Don't burn out that big engine that is operating at optimum level for them at the moment. But I think they need to make sure they get on the right side of the field, exploit those opportunities. But what's nice to see is that actually they are releasing those backline players. Those centers are getting a lot of ball, especially the wingers, who are actually very important here. And Van Skalvik is really loving his front ball situation here. I think some things happening, some reshuffling happening here. Another reshuffling there, and a nice take there from the big number 5 locker. Krier Faskalge does it, Sumipo the fullback, give it to Potter. Potter needs to get his ball early, but the damage. Oh! Mr. Den held on too long and certainly could be in trouble here. Oh no. Shared direction, really. Chimanga actually not exploiting that, and a bit of the legs there. You cannot exploit when there's no space. Good defense from Alberton. I think the inside center, Danny Westenberg, held on too long. They needed to release that ball as quickly as possible. Alberton could have been away. But like I said, he hasn't had a lot of ball. He's been running a lot of dummy lines at the moment. Maybe he just wanted to hold on as long as possible as well. A beautiful take, a beautiful steal there from Alberton. Pressure is on. And certainly forcing, I think Mr. Msibi just gone onto the field here, wearing jersey number 25, and then I wonder who was the man who was running the show at number 5. I think I might have got it wrong. Actually, CBS is actually jersey number 25. No, number 5 is come on, and number 5. Just need to double check there who's the man. And actually on the list there is LCCBC. Oh no, that's a replacement, unfortunately. Ukumani Jiva wearing jersey number 25. I think a bit taking awareness, a bit reshuffling. Oh no, Sibusiso Ndlovu was actually wearing jersey number 23. There's a couple of changes taking place here, a bit of confusion. Well, you cannot scrum without a hooker. The hooker needs to go on. Well, the replacement needs to go on. There's no doubt about it. Reinhard Olofsson needs to get ready to go. Mr. Yenda's day is finished. He's limping over. And that's the end of his day today. Certainly that ankle might have actually well strapped. Clearly might have been carrying the injury coming into this game. And I think he had it one too many at the moment in time. I don't think this is going to change. Reinhard Olofsson is going to get some baptism of fire, where Alberton is rolling and the Irlander are roaring at the moment. Alafu lekker met hulle self-confidence praat. Hulle wil net baie belangrik moet hulle halfte kom op oomblik, want ek dink allei werk, allei effort wat hulle insit moet eintlik punte verander en op die regte plekke speel. Mr. Ngoba just getting ready. Mr. Hardes, Kutse, maak seker die scrum is solid. Is bietjie stabiel gewees en ek dink Raiders moet bietjie goeie skit, bietjie goeie rondruk. Lyk vir smaak hulle Alberton praat bietjie baie op die oomblik, want hulle voel hulle is as boop hulle op die oomblik en dan kom by die scrums, kom by die lyn staan. En is net die scoreboard van net 3 punte verskil as hulle is nog nie die game het nie. Maar Alberton moet net seker maak as Ngoba die bal gaan bietjie insit. Channel 1 aso. Ball set fast onder die hakker en hulle kry 'n penalty. And certainly dominant scrum there from Mr. Lindo Guhle, Mr. Kilo himself. They don't call him Kilo for nothing. Coming at an easy 129 Ks, taking control of his opposite number. Now Mr. Mhlaba, who's got no answers. And Lindo is really running the show at the moment. High five all around. It's certainly well deserved. And Alberton needs to make sure now they get away there. And the lineouts are looking good. Everything is in place. I'm sure Jakub Botha is a smiling man at the moment. What is like, oh no, terrible mistake. Terrible mistake there from Van Skalvik and giving the ball, not getting out. And scrum against Kubeka gives it to his oh no, not another combination gone wrong there. The loose forwards making a hash of that one. Otlachwa, you're giving a pass, not legs instructed to Mchila behind his back, but the idea was good. Just unfortunately, just at the back, missed him, needed to get that ball in his bread baskets in Fundo in Chilata, which was not the case. But Lindo Gutle just taking his time as well. I mean, obviously feels slightly aggrieved. I mean, they just had a massive scrum. And now for them not to be rewarded with that penalty, Skalvik, criminal of him not kicking that ball out, where there was no need for him to go 100 kilometers away. We could have just get the ball out. The lineouts are good. Alberton is dominating first phases. And there's a question is now they need to change the scoreboard, keep on clicking, get the rewards for it as well. It's going to be very interesting now how it goes again. Lindo Gutle having a bit of a kick in his step. Maybe that magic water needed to have to happen as well, just to reset his battery, because there's another titanic battle coming up here. And certainly a man who's loving his situation currently. And Ulof says, come on, and actually now who's going to have another baptism of fire. I think he walked into a cul-de-sac, the first scrum he got into. Hopefully this is not going to deter him in actually getting that one right, getting his front row was actually empty, and get him ready to go. Nkosi Vumela Mhlaba needs to get it up. Luyolo, Qinela, they need to really clean there, because I think Baba Tega kancinci, because it's certainly one area where front rower you don't want to be backpedaling all day, because that messes up with your confidence. Good scrum there, number 8 gives it to Ngube. Ngube gives it to Skalvik. Skalvik just hesitate for a second, but I need people to clean it. Ngube decides to go clean. Unfortunately, that's a case. You cannot let a scrum have clean when there's manpower over the ball. I think John Westenberg there was a bit nonchalant, actually watching a movie where he should have been protecting his fly off there, because that ball was nice and clean, needed to clean so the scrum half can play, and he decided to watch a movie. And Mr. Ngube had to do a job he's not very familiar with, cleaning racks. His job is to clean balls from racks, not clean actual racks. But his backline player letting him down there. That's a certain part there. I think the centers need to learn to make sure that if your fly half takes it up, I mean, your job is up to you as a 12 or 13 to make sure that that rack is actually cleaned properly. And that was not the case, and that ball was turned over, which is unfortunate. After a beautiful scrum, after 8-10 situation took place there, and obviously there's a bit of a a situation there where the Skalvik, I don't know if he's been talked to or he's been sent off. No, he actually is actually angry as well, because I feel like the team is blaming Mr. Kubeka. Does he get a 3-pointer? Certainly Mr. Kubeka is getting on your board as well. This is what you do when you're under pressure. You make sure one thing you're not under pressure with is a scoreboard as well. So they might be under pressure at this point in time, but now leveling up on the scoreboard, and they feel like they can smash and grab Alberton at any time. I mean, they are playing at home, and certainly Alberton needs to get it right. They've got so much possession at this point in time, but they're not doing the right things with it. They're not playing on the right side of the field, and I'm sure the forwards' energy will run down at some point. Nice deep kick there from Skalvik, who gets it. The little scrum half doesn't waste any time. He says, no, I'll send it back with some interest, and what a kick with interest. It's not out. The fullback, we know, he's not well known for kicking, and this time lets his left winger low early on Unsel and said, listen, I'm going to kick if you don't want to kick. Karelse picks it up. Karelse beats one. Unfortunately, there's no cleaners there. Alberton can steal this ball. And also the man who kicked actually steals the ball as well. Good turnover there from Ngube. Needs to release his ball. Van Skalvik brings it back, and then Westenberg takes it up, and obviously that's Johan Westenberg brings it back into the forwards where the safety of the big number, big open side flanker there, George Stein takes it up, and he gives a nice short pass to his fellow lock. JJ Creere takes it up, gets some meters. Oscar Skal comes in big, a bit of pressure there for coming from Raiders, but Van Skalvik is in the mix again. I think the force needs to come back. Skrill is looking for that ball again. Creer gets it and takes it up. He needs cleaners and does get. Ngube gets it away, gives it to Brandon Schultz. Brandon Schultz has been hit, met with some serious force, but he's got the ball. Recalled and then brings in as a Bota does an unders overs, brings Ben Denny. Westenberg, and Westenberg does a good job. Unfortunately, knocks it on and the right winger takes on. Oh no! This man needs to be told there's a whitewash. Once you step on that thing, it's definitely going to be out. Unfortunately, Shadrach is not reading the script. I think he's not reading that whole script totally. Shimanga, she needed to pass that ball in or chip and chase. A beautiful turnover, actually gone to absolute waste there. But the right winger not really reading the script. Is like literally been stepping on that line all day. Unless he can't see it, or someone needs to go put it in nice and thick. But clearly he's really letting his team down there. Another opportunity. Let's see if Brandon Schultz is going to actually get a ball, and an option at the back is open. That ball looks slightly skew, but the ref, Mr. Harris could see, and his eyes are really well aligned and picked it up. And unfortunately, the line-out gone Pierce. Probably one of the first line-outs that's gone Pierce for Alberton. Are those the signs that the tank is running a little bit low in energy levels? It needs to make sure, because at this point in time, the Fords have been doing so well. And now to lose all that effort that they've put in so far, it's going to be very crucial, because as soon as that happens, you're going to see by Raiders just ripping them to pieces here. It's going to be very important that they need to keep the pressure on as much as they can. John Combrank needs to come in handy here, put pressure on his opposite number. Mr. Qinela needs to clean as much as he can. Hit is on. Hips are not coming along. Alberton has got a hit on them. A beautiful pressure scrum there from Alberton, and certainly well-deserved pressure there. And Alberton certainly dominating the scrum proceedings here at the moment. The whole front row's timing, the synchronization is actually very nice. They wait for the night time, and the pressure comes on. There's no hip movement whatsoever. There's no hip movement whatsoever when it comes to Raiders. And another opportunity that it's right on the 15-meter line there. Van Schalkwyk is going to have a dab and just reward the Fords for all that effort that they've done. Yeah, now Caselaga really making things happen here, bringing club rugby to his knee, bringing club rugby up on his feet and getting spectators on the crowd again. Man, it's a community affair, and certainly everyone is enjoying it. And lovely to see that Skulls lining up. Power, direction, Dololo. He's got everything but direction, and certainly nothing wrong there. But Alberton certainly very happy with their effort at the moment when it comes to scrummaging. Doing absolutely lovely work. Jean Combrank, Brandon Schultz, and Lindo Gutle are certainly running proceedings here. I think Coach Hendrik Paulsen is certainly a happy man. Van Schalkwyk calculates and look at the options, and it does a Gary Owen that really puts his own team under pressure. But luckily for them, I think Raiders knocks that ball on. And the left wing was not really happy there. Jason Penzu might have done himself some harm in trying to get that ball in the sky there. And I know now, talking about trouble after trouble, another scrum opportunity here coming for Alberton. And Alberton probably cannot wait to get to another scrum situation. At this point in time, things are going very well. I mean, we've been playing for just under 34 minutes. And when things are going like that, the big men from Alberton are not feeling any fatigue, because they really are dominating when it comes to scrums. Lineouts, they missed a few of their own, but they've really put a lot of pressure on Raiders, and Raiders haven't had clean ball to work with. I mean, it's a team who loves the ball in hand. They've got a devastating backline, but that all comes for nothing when the Fords are not bringing the bacon for them to enjoy. And certainly that possession is not coming at like an open tap at this point in time. Kubega has got nothing to work with. They're working on scraps, so they're also trying a lot of things to take place which are not really happening as they should. Mr. Ngoba gets ready to feed. Channel 1, they don't need Channel 1 when you've got an engine that operates at optimum level. I think one against the head there. I think Alberton was caught scrumming upwards and then sometimes slightly too confident. Maybe that Channel 1 was probably required at this point in time. I think Raiders got one against the head here. Oh, and they want to actually keep on going there. Mr. Nela. Oh, slightly high there. Mr. Lindo Gutle. And again he goes. No, it's actually the big number 8. And then that goes again, Mr. Kubega. Oh, leaves the ball behind his Mfundo Mchilata, and certainly Alberton is not waiting for second edition. Potgieter takes it up, gets some yards, and keep bringing that Danny Westenberg and gives it to, he thought about actually passing, but he decided to keep Maybe couldn't pick him. Get it ready again. Pascal back in position to replay. Brings, oh my goodness, the forwards are really not looking after the ball today. Both sides of pack of forwards. And there goes the Adams. Adams gets Kubega. Kubega does a chip. And it doesn't go over. And then the big man picks it up in his cleaners. And it certainly does get numbers there. But I think Mr. Kubega might have been there first. But he didn't take the ball. Mr. Ngube dives and actually is well met by first defender there. Will, I think, might have snatched the ball in the process as well, losing the ball in contact. Adams gets it out and gives way to Karelse. As not Karelse doesn't end. Oh, there goes a break. Masamel, right winger. Oh, he gets it right this time. Mr. Shadrach Shimanga. He's been fluttering with the light wash, and I think Alberton got used to it as well. He got used to it, what is happening, and this time he sends two cross defenders to the right side. And setting the ball defenders, cross defenders there, because they're so used to him running to the line. Or Shadrach Shimanga, they're certainly sending them packing. Say, show me your number. This is what I'm able. That's why coach put me here. I made a couple of fumbles, but what a take. What a side step. And what opportunity. Then Alberton will feel aggrieved there, because they've been dominating most of the first half. And one sniff, one opportunity, Raiders get, and they make them pay. And certainly they love the ball in hand at this point in time. And certainly I think there's some reinforcements there. Tsepo, Kaya Mudimu is actually on the field as well. Kelly Qinela's head being replaced there. And maybe that's why that turnover scrum must have happened there in the first instance. Conversion is good. Shadrach turning things up now. And this scoreboard obviously looked like something different. I'm sure Raiders will be more than happy. They've been under the cosh the whole time. Now having to have a scoreboard that's smiling nicely on them. 10-3. When you've been under pressure for the most of the half, all you needed was a sniff. And the sniff, that's all they needed. And obviously Alberton will feel aggrieved. And this situation is like, no man, we've been dominating pressing this, but the scoreboard is not saying the same thing. And it comes a big man there. Mfundom Chilata and takes it up. Comes in a big man and skip past to Kubega. Kubega's like, no, we're not playing dangerous rugby here. Does a Gary Owen, who's receiving the, oh! And number 8 actually controls it very nicely. Sean Bota takes it up. It does have cleaners. It does have cleaners. Bota comes in, then a fullback comes to Jason Bota to come collect, and then the ball is scrappy. And Ravi realized the guys, you are playing under pressure. I think here the guys were not within 10. Were within the 10-meter radius that Gary Owen from the fly of Kubega. Players didn't fall back and wait for someone to put them on. And then another opportunity here for another opportunity. Another opportunity here for the Elander to get on the right side of the field. I think that man just sent that ball packing. A taxi might have picked it up and down outside the way. But I'm sure he'll come back very soon. The ball boys are on their toes here. Ball is nice and quick, and obviously Brendan Schultz ready to go. And they're going full line out. And obviously this time they're feeling confident. They've got some men, they've got some manpower. And Sean Potgieter takes it very easily. He's very quick on his feet. He's light. Weighing merely just under 100 Ks. Almost 2 meters long, 1.9. He does his thing when it comes to the Pascal. He does the dummy switch pop. And what a beautiful drop there with Dana Westenberg. And he gets some meters that ball needs to be quick. Right winger comes in and assists Pascal. He comes in again. A skip pass. But that's a gift. Oh, a gift also from Mr. Rev. Says, no. You guys were never on side to start with, but that was a weird telegraph pass. Well awaited as well from the fullback. No, not the fullback. I think it must have been the left winger, right winger, come to assist this side. No, it was the inside center. Who's come on to assist and I had to get his number. Yeah, no, actually I think the inside center Daniels has been replaced. He's no longer on the field anymore. Player 21, Azi Africa has actually taken up his place. Asia Africa is actually now into inside center. Alberton gets another opportunity. Potgieter takes it nicely. The line out is set. The drive needs to happen, but they're backpedaling slightly. I think they need to make sure this ball gets in the safety. Nguba is asking for it, but he's not getting it. I think eventually gets it. Faskalvik does another drop switch, but this time they watch him like a hawk. He's not going to have his cake and cut it twice. Not on Kubega's watch, and Kubega holding him up. I think that's also called the ball. If that ball doesn't come out, it's going to be a turnover. And certainly Kubega did well on dinner. He said, listen, you fool me once, you don't fool me twice. That drop switch needed to happen exactly like it did before. And this time, he damaged his inside center, Danny Westenberg. And Westenberg actually was not quick enough to assist to help him push and actually get the ball down as quickly as possible. And Faskalvik may see another opportunity here. But I can see a damage switch pop was a play. But I think defense was actually also eager to get close as possible. Now Raiders have got another chance here. But first things first, scrums have been problematic for them at the moment. Let's see if now they're going to have a platform to work with Ishmael Adams and John Kubega. That's all they require, is like a platform. Channel 1 is required. If that ball comes quick enough, it's a bit pressure from Alberton, but the flankers are up as well. The number 8 picks it up, but it does give it a shorty pass, but Kubeka is calling it on the blind side. He certainly does get it, playing on a safety over 22. That's a great exit indeed. Just before the 10-meter line. I think that obviously well controlled there by the big number 8, Senzo Mhlachwayo, whose scrum was not ideal for pick and go, but he decided to go anyway. Get some meters, get some support, and obviously change of direction of Asia Africa. Certainly very handy there indeed. Alberton does another line out. I think this one is slightly thrown over. Kubega picks it up beautifully, brings in the number 8, and the number 8 doesn't need the second invitation. That ball is gone to foot, not into hand. It's not a knock on. Alberton's got a chance here. Need to release, and the leftover gets it. And then unfortunately gets it with people on some onslaught. But it does a great job in fighting in the tackle. Mr. Ngube is looking for first receiver, and Faskalvik is ready. And Faskalvik send it back with interest, but he's sending it into people's hands. I think it's going to be trouble here. Jason Penzu has got a chance, and Penzu goes right into traffic. Does he have reinforcement to clean that ball? Kubega needs to play scrum off, or cleaner needs to happen and bring in the Nebe. Nebe takes it up, gets a meter. Poor tackling there from the left lucid prop. Kubega gets it again, the big number 8 who loves the ball in hand. He's got some fancy feet work as well, but I think the ball is well stolen there. But unfortunately not controlled in that situation. Jadstein came up with the goods, but his fellow scrum half not really reciprocating the effort. Kubega is dumb his one, beats two, give it to the Mchilata needs to be secure. That ball needs to go left, not right. And then brings in, and obviously Gamze for Carlsen kicks up his fluff. He snatches, he's right through. What a break from the fullback, and certainly a knife through butter. And that knife was absolutely hot. He cut that line like there was no defense at all. That's the dangers, guys. If you give a backline like this, opportunity, broken play with no control defense, they're gonna make you pay. What a line break there. What an opportunity. What an opportunity to miss from Alberton. Like I said again, they've had all this ample time of turning a scoreboard and making it clicking. They've controlled the first half, but unable to control the scoreboard. And this point in time, the one team that's certainly doing the score controlling is Raiders, and they're doing it beautifully. Mr. Kubega, he's got a boot and a half on him. Let's see if he's going to convert this one from the left-hand side. Beautiful strike. The flags were up before he even could get there. Certainly well done there from Raiders, being under pressure the whole time. Talking about controlling a game with no possession whatsoever. And these guys are certainly controlling proceedings. They're well done onto them. And the halftime score, we're going to go into halftime 17-3 to the home team. Welcome, folks. That was of time, and I hope the guys have had their oranges. I think guys are simply chewing on their oranges at the moment. It's Alberton and nowhere to be seen. And the guys who are ready to go, ready to rectify what has gone wrong, is Raiders, ready to kick off with Mr. General himself, John Kubega, who literally got his team nicely clicking over. Now, obviously, courtesy of the outside backs controlled by the Adrian Karelsa. The wings on strings certainly come to the party. The man who's got a lot of ball was Shadrach Chimanga, who certainly made a few errors until a point where he got to actually have a chance. But I think they're ready to go again. And Alberton, they need to find something. But more than anything else, it's points that they need to collect as much as they can, because they really need that at this point in time. Let's see how they're actually going to control this kickoff. Mr. Kubega goes high and deep, just outside the 22. Pressure pass, and then a big number 8 is the first man to control proceedings. Klachayo, it gets meters. Does the ball come early? The ball comes, but it's a bit scrappy. But Mr. Kubega is not even there, bringing back the centers with a chip and chase. That's a strange one. With such forward momentum, Lavrich Mudirere just rolling it out on his toe at that point in time. And Mr. Kubega was expecting a kickback, so he was not in that part of that attacking line. But what a great start there for Raiders, and then having the opportunity to now have a defensive line out is Alberton. But they decide to go full line out, which is very strange. The numbers are not correct. I think Raiders need to correct their own numbers here, just buying a bit of time. And Alberton going a short man line out, 4-man line out. A quick ball they taken away, but Potgieter has actually done absolutely well the whole day today in terms of line-out control and proceedings, and getting a beautiful line drive. Great start again as a force of Alberton, the Irlander. But the momentum. Hopefully that momentum gaan bietjie 4 gee ook by die backline spelers, agterlyn spelers dat ek nie gaan kom van hulle kry bal, maar hulle maak niks van Skalkwyk gee dit vir die oh! My goodness, stop nonsense there is Jared Steyn wat regtig in 'n vaste muur gehardloop. En die ref sê nee, dit was 'n vaste muur, maar ek dink iemand was bietjie hoog gewees daarso. En Jared Steyn is 'n groot klein man, maar as jy nie jou score drop jy gaan per ongeluk in sy chin hardloop. En dit was die sak op oomblik gewees, as ek dink die man was hard gery, maar hy's 'n taffe man, Jared Steyn. Het 'n penalty vir sy span gekry daarso. Ek dink Alberton gaan weer met 'n goeie lynbeweging, goeie meters gekry, en daarso probeer weer in die gang kry. Is van Skalkwyk, jy moet nie weer dieselfde fout in die eerste helfte maak nie. Toe die voet so lekker brul en die bal nie iets kop as dit 'n strafskop is nie. En wat doen hy hierdie keer? Hy maak seker en hy kry 'n goeie afstand daarso. 'n hele 20 meter wat hy voet kan kry en gebruik. Ek dink op oomblik, ek dink as 'n paar vervangers ook. O'Sheva's op. The man they call the chef is on to replace the left Luce de Kombrang. And obviously leading the proceedings of Potgieter, and does a ball but doesn't come clean. Or Mr. Ngume does a damn and actually does a break line, and he needs to clean. But someone else needs to come and play scrum off, who do have probably one of the tallest scrum. Potgieter, a man who got in the line out. Skalkwyk does it overs and lands, and the fullback Bota keeps it on the right wing, and he's got a chance. One-on-one, he beats his own man, but he doesn't beat the replacement or Aussie Africans like Nearboss. Not today, that's a penalty. You cannot take a ball. You cannot take a ball in within the 5, but I think they're balling over again. It's a situation where we've got players that are actually coming from outside, coming to assist. You're not allowed to do that. Yeah, no, certainly these things are balling over here. Talking about ice in the head, the fire in the belly. I think people got it upside down at this point in time. And reason being don't understand. I mean, it was a situation, or maybe Mr. Gizone is angry because his opposite number skin him like an orange, and maybe feel aggrieved in that situation. Say, like, young man, don't do that again. Or Tyler Paulson actually making the man angry. Now Alberton's got another chance of contesting. Their contest has been good. Potgieter is ready to jump. He's watching that front man and set it, put pressure. But the number 8 comes up with the goods. It does a dummy throw. And basically Klacha is very smart man. Initially secures the situation. I think someone is actually need to Someone is actually lying down. I think the hooker's not very happy here when the line-out took place. But the Raiders are looking to make sure that they get this ball. Yeah, I think Brendan Schultz is really not a happy character at the moment. Must have certainly fallen awkwardly in that situation, but Raiders come away with the penalty. I think too many fingers in that rack. And Mr. Hardas Kutsia just pausing things here. Got a call from Malcolm van Heerden and the AR on our side of the stand. Certainly someone is not happy here. And the way he's clutching, the way he's actually in pain, I don't think there's a chance he'll actually be continuing. I think he also might be leaving the field here. That injury looks serious. Lisejo Mailengwe might actually be coming on to come join the party. Yeah, medic is actually getting there fast, slowly but surely getting there. Is he gonna come up? No, this man is made of steel. Brendan Schultz is not going off anytime soon. And certainly he's just showing, I think might have been a magic eyes that might have done the trick from their bio. I think Chris Ferguson might have actually whispered some nice words in his ear. There's some people getting ready to go on as well. Raiders gets a penalty but doesn't kick out. Mr. Ngube actually takes it up, beats one, beats two, beats three. It doesn't go past the big fellas. But now Nitokina, nice chip kick here from the right winger, Paulson. Beautifully done. The fullback is ready. Mr. Kubega does an awkward pass, but he controls it, but he lets go. There's a right winger who was actually not happy that Chimanga stays on his feet as long as he can. He needs reinforcement, and it does get reinforcement, but I think also from Alberton trying to overflood that rack, and they do get the ball out eventually. Someone doesn't make that tackle. Open side eye over trying his hand there, Brendan Odongo. But the Potgieter, a man who's been pretty busy on this side. But I think here he's got no cleaners at the moment. But I think Mr. Harris is no. Too many bodies piling up on that rack, and a man who's really been busy. Sean Potgieter. He's really been industrious when it comes to line. I put a lot of pressure. But Raiders has really come to the party in the second half. Come out firing. And certainly what a beautiful line break there from the open side. Brendan Odungu. But he tried a chip and chase. It certainly didn't pay off very nicely. I think must have done some harm in that process. Someone has been looked at in the middle. I'm not sure if the ref can see it. Now he's 100%, but I think he's still not sure. The scrum needs to take place. He needs to be part of it, so he needs to quickly get there so things can start going again. One area that Alberton has done very well in the first half is the scrum department. But with Schaefer coming on there, the chef, he needs to add that value as well. Certainly the young man who's come on, Kombrang, has laid a foundation, has laid a standard. But here, Mr. Ngube wants a channel one, and a channel one as quick as possible. Van Schalke gets a good scrum, keep it in. I think they're playing under advantage. But that ball needs to come, Mr. Ngube. You got an advantage that you use. The inside center came in too early. He was coming to come look for parking his den. Or then Westenberg was coming in to look for parking there. He actually wanted to run a dummy line that meant nothing. And when the ball did come, he was not ready for it. I think if there's any technical changes, that's a man who probably needs to go rest. He's really not in the zone. The team is chasing the scoreboard, and he doesn't take opportunities that are coming his way. And just letting things ball out unnecessarily. I think Alberton forwards are really getting rolling again, rumbling again, and I think that V8 is nicely filled up. Those halftime oranges have come in, and Potgieter takes an easy ball. The drive needs to be set here. Nice and low, need to get it, Garrett. And certainly the man has been doing a lot of possession collecting there. Justin is actually playing scrum off at the back. Need patience. I think Raiders needs to keep the discipline. Justin breaks away. Is he hold up? And Justin makes it. And what a try from Alberton. And what a time to respond as well. They've been seriously under pressure the whole time. And this time a brutal line out there from the forwards doing the job. And this time they actually trust nothing from the backs. Like we're going to do it ourselves. And well done there from the big man who's been in the thick of things. He's run into walls, he's spin into walls, he's run through walls, and in this instance, he runs over a line to make sure he gets a 5-pointer. Beautiful try there from Jared Steyn. Van Schalkwyk needs to make sure now these 2-pointers actually add up as well. It looks like the little scrum half has been replaced from Ashley Adams. He's off the field. I suppose he's not happy, or the coach is not happy with him. Maybe things when the forwards are not operating, it becomes very difficult. Oh! It's not him, it's actually they've changed kickers. Oh, sorry, Jason Bott has been the man kicking the whole time. What a conversion. Van Schalkwyk is a man who only kicks for touches. Kicking for poles has been Jason the whole time. Now things are looking a bit more brighter on the horizon for Alberton. They sense now things can change. Only a 7-point deficit, but things need to happen now. He needs to collect this ball, and the fullback collects it beautifully, but is well met in defense as well. Van Schalkwyk gets ready for the ball. Is he gonna run? No, I'm not gonna run. He does a deep throw. The fullback Carlson is out of position, but he runs back with no pressure whatsoever. But that ball is deep. Carlson needs to pick it up and exit some meters. So that ball is not out. The man is waiting for the Giovanni Botta. Oh, Potgieter does a chip and chase. My goodness, why did not keep the ball in hand? He had reinforcements. What a waste of position from Potgieter. Probably one time that he's put his foot wrong was that trying to do what backs do. When you are forward, you should have used his muscle, run through there. There are opportunities here. Well collected. A mistake there from Carlson. Actually not made to pay by Alberton, which didn't actually choose the right opportunity to run that ball. Let's see now if Alberton is going to come and actually... Whoa! Damitro just having a bit of humor, entertaining the crowd as well. I think Alberton really is come alive in the second half, maybe playing downhill from north to south. He's got his advantages at this point in time. I think they've gone for a short line out as well. They left the big fella in the middle there, Giovanni Botta, to come rattle the cage. And Corporal is also on the field. He's come and replaced Denny. He's replaced Denny inside center. Another beautiful thing. Ngube does a dummy, but unfortunately well met by the pillar 1 and 2. Think that ball might be turned over, but managed to save the situation as Alberton. Cummins, a big man. The replacement comes in. Lesigo Malang was certainly well positioned with ball in hand, and Ngube does it again. Oh my goodness. Giovanni Botta actually went in there and pulled the handbrake. Subsequently, when you're that big, there's no time to pull in handbrakes in order to be forceful and going through there, especially if it's being used to run over the ball. Come, Mr. Raiders himself, Dylan Malchas coming on to replace the loose there. Unkosi Vumile Mhlaba is left the field. And obviously scrum half as well as Etalar is on, replacing Adams at scrum half. A beautiful hit, and that ball needs to come, a beautiful channel 1. Do they use it? They're playing an advantage. I think Alberton, they're guilty for collapsing the scrum, but the Raiders is not waiting for anybody. Comes the break there outside center, Cinderella releases the fullback. Oh my goodness. Talking about turning it up every split of a second. Just need to get that number there. They had a penalty. They could have kicked for the line, but they decided to do something spectacular. Tap and go to the number 8. This man must just show me his number here. Just double check if I've got the right guy. But at this time, Raiders turning it up. What a try, indeed. Yes, he certainly does eventually. James Bester, the man who's coming on the left winger here, replacing Jazone. He certainly made a statement of note. And the conversion is just a formality from Mr. General himself. Yeah, no, certainly. Alberton just keep on making errors that are actually costly at this point in time. And Mr. Bota, Giovanni Bota is also leaving the field. He's had enough. A good take there from Raiders, and Raiders are not waiting. They've realized the game's Carlson send it. A nice pass there from the replays Africa. Releases the right winger there, Chimanga, and he's staying on his feet waiting for support. A beautiful well done there from Shedrack Chimanga, and they've got the ball again. General Kubeka gives it. Oh! But I'm sure they must have been playing under advantage there because they were offside all over that line and the backline. Ireland, they were all offside coming back there, but the ref didn't pick it up, which is unfortunate there. I think Mfundo Mchilata just letting it go. He might have been thinking of a swivel there, unfortunately not happening. And I think things are happening there for Raiders, and City, the game is loosened up exactly what the doctor ordered, and there's a problem now for Alberton. All those hard-working forwards, his tanks are running low. They can't keep up with the loose game at this point in time. Yeah, no, certainly. Not as said, Mr. Malchas backtracking here, and a right shoulder from Alberton. Lindo Gutla, I think the early shove there from Raiders in particular. I think Malchas might have actually overpushed himself and gone forward as well. But Alberton has got a free kick, but there's no way I think they're going to take another scrum here. They might just tap and actually kick it out and give the line out to Raiders. Or they could tap and run. And Schaefer's like, let's try it, guys. It does a good run as well. Beautiful take. Nobody's to release. Just a low pass there for his number 8, and certainly controlling the ball. Sean Bota. Nobody does it out for Skalvgate, gets it. Does it for a dummy switch and then releases from Westenberg. Westenberg doesn't find his right winger. And it's unfortunate. I think really things have been looking good. They've been really trying there. Tyler Paulson was well marshaled by his opposite number there in James Bester, and making sure that he doesn't get a clean ball. And obviously Van Skalvik is really trying to loosen things now. He's not trying to kick everything. A short line out here for Raiders is going to be a 4-man line out. You're not allowed to have 2 scrum halves, so I think the lock needs to go in there. Mr. CBC needs to go in and form the line out. The man is also on the field. Look, Tepuka Kaya Mudimu. He's been anchoring on tight head. Now actually it's a 5-man. So just moving a personnel around because reinforcement coming in reserves. That ball is in the middle. Beautiful take there from Mr. CBC, who's really been really handful and ball in hand in the open play. This time just controlling the line. I think Alberton, they're falling off the mold there, coming from side to side as well. I think someone must have actually having something on the side here. I think there's some people manhandling each other here. I think things are slightly boiling over, and it's actually a scene you don't want to see at this point in time. Others are trying to stop, others are trying to just get in and make things worse. Something clearly happened between Kai Mudimu and Schaefer, and Kai Mudimu is not happy. He actually dragged him to his own side, but didn't throw the punch eventually. But the ref is just waiting for them to finish their meet and greet. But until someone throws a punch, I think that's the only person who's going to be in trouble. At this point in time, just things boiling over here. JJ Krill having a word or two. Van Skalvik also getting busy. Yeah, and I think things need to simmer down. Unless the ref is going to call this game. I think he just did exactly that. It's a rugby match, guys, not a boxing match. At this point in time, I think Mr. Harris Kuche just decided, listen, guys, if you wanna have a boxing match and we don't play boxing, we certainly play rugby. This is not a scenes that was actually supposed to happen. And certain players, I think, came here with the wrong mentality. And this point in time, if the ref decide to call it, I don't think nothing's going to happen now. Even Jakub Botha has gone on and shook hands with the other players. And then actually, it's unfortunate. This is certainly not the scenes. I mean, we literally, not even 20 minutes in the second half and things have ball over to the max. People have lost their composure, just anger falling over, and then tempers flying left, right, and center, which is unfortunate. At this point in time, I think the ref is going to call the game, and Raiders are going to literally get away here with 24 points, and Alberton having 10, which is unfortunate because Alberton must have done a lot of preparation coming to this match. But there are certain players now certainly still not happy having a chit-chat. Others is fuming over, anger flying right and center, which is unfortunate. And a beautiful match just spoiled now by ill discipline from individuals who actually have no self-control whatsoever, which is unfortunate. And certainly Alberton will have to now play 20 minutes short, and it's certainly not a thing club rugby needs, and it's not a standard that Lions rugby will be expecting. There'll certainly be some words shared from the union's point of view, and certainly not this is what needs to happen. And obviously the ref calling the game like this who probably has to have a report as well why he called the game early, and the players and obviously controlling the situation. Yes, yeah. And at this point in time, and certainly this is how it's going to end, folks. Raiders are going to take the way 24 points to 10 with 20 minutes to spare, to be honest. And I think it's a shameful act. It certainly was not necessary. I think the captains need to take control of their players. A game cannot civil like that, and Alberton really did come with some right attitude, but there obviously those few players whose mentality was just in the wrong place at this point in time, which is unfortunate. And Alberton obviously trying to thank their fans at the same time. And obviously Alberton trying to thank their fans. Obviously, listen guys, we wanted to give you a rugby match, and this instance is not what you're giving you. Got called off just because of a few players whose just anger situations got out of hand. So just saying thank you to the fans that came all the way from Alberton to come support. And it's certainly not good advertisement for club rugby, and something that certainly cannot be dealt with going forward. Yes, folks, I suppose that's a fairy tale ending that Alberton they can do for their fans who came all this way. Just a bit of camaraderie. And certainly the last game here, and the points is going to end like it is, folks, 24 points to 0. And certainly, like I said again, not a great advertisement for club rugby, but club rugby is going to rise again in certain situations that need to be solved. And that's how we're going to end it today, boys. Folks, brought to you by me, Lawrence Parker. This is how we're going to call it. See you until we meet again.